All right, we are back. We are back, and hopefully, we're going to have our connected chat together on this platform. Hopefully, Pastor Ben can join me. I have sent him the invite link. So hopefully, he will be able to join me for a live chat and follow up. Good afternoon. I sent you the link to join in your email. And hopefully, our audience here will return. I am putting also the join link. I don't know why this is doing this here. Boy, I tell you, they do not want us to have this talk back, boy. I'm trying to put the link inside of the Facebook page, and they keep not taking me to the video so I can put the link for people to join us. All right, Pastor Ben, do you see that join link? Join, join, join. We are back. For those of you who are coming back in, we are having the talk back from the session that we just finished up. And we are talking both about civil rights, desegregation, integration, and how it affected Black business. We're also talking about draft day. Draft day. All right, and then Pastor, I'm going to send it. I don't see you coming in yet. All right, I have sent it to you again. Okay, I just sent it again. I sent it again. All right, hopefully you're able to grab that link. It has been a fight this day to get you on to share. So we had technical difficulties over on YouTube trying to get our speaker on, and we are trying here again now. I know I just said goodbye. I did, but we're coming back because we're trying to have our talk back. And right now we're on 8 minutes of trying to have this talk back. So hopefully, okay. And Pastor Ben, if you can't see the link, if it's not letting you in, I'm going to call you and put you on speakerphone because we're going to have this conversation. Yes, we are. hmm hmm No weapon. No weapon. No weapon formed against me shall prosper. It won't work. No weapon. Okay, so you're not receiving the link. I've sent you the link twice. So let me call you. I'm gonna call you. I'm gonna call you right now. Oh, there it is. Because I tell you, somebody don't want us to have this conversation, but we gonna have it. Good morning, afternoon. Good afternoon. Can you hear me? Can you see me?
I can hear you and see you
Okay,
now.
you're breaking up just a little bit.
Can you see me?
Oh,
Okay.
I can hear you now. I
Hold
can hear you
on.
now. Stay right there. Stay right
Okay.
there. Stay right
All
there.
right.
Ooh, child. All right. Hit me with it.
They don't want us to have this conversation.
I'm telling you, this has been
I- I'm,
10
I'm a,
minutes trying to get on here to have this conversation. Part
yeah.
two.
I'm gonna hit a few minutes on the first topic, and then
Okay.
we're still going through the same thing right now. What people fail to understand why we are behind financially because of
Mm-hmm.
them. See, because of them. People fail to understand the system that they imposed on us that we're still stuck
Mm-hmm.
in.
Yeah.
See, so this is why certain things happen the way they do because we're still stuck in that system. And every time you try to lift your head up out of it, they put their foot on you and kick you back down.
Yep.
So that's on them. That's not on us. We keep trying. So now let's go to this Sanders issue. Because I remember when that white boy Eli Manning said that I ain't going to no what was it, the Rams? I'm paraphrasing, but that's basically what he said. I ain't going to no Rams. I don't want them to pick me first because I don't want to play for them.
Mm-hmm.
His dad was standing right by his side. They picked him first. Regardless of anything he said, they said, oh, well, we're gonna go ahead and get him. But somehow his dad got involved. He ended up going to the Giants.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wait a minute. His dad was involved. Oh, wow.
And let me guess,
But
that was seen as a sign of strength and
he
courage and
he was a
fortitude
great he was the greatest father ever.
and standing up for your son, right?
That's right.
And here's what people don't seem to get. In a system of pseudo supremacy, whether it's on a micro scale or a macro scale, you are not supposed to have the right to stand up for your son. In their
Mm-hmm.
system, you are not a man, you are a boy. So, in their system, when you're looking them into the eye, when you're looking at them dead straight in the face and directly, I keep trying to tell people, y'all think Jim Crow etiquette went away. It didn't go away.
Mm-mm.
These are
Nope.
men of that ilk, of that time frame, where you show deference to them. If you want something from them, like one commentator said, they just said, I feel he didn't play the game. If he would have just played the game, if he would have shown deference to them, if he would sort of kept his head down and yes sir, no sir, he would have gotten the contract.
Mm-hmm.
He would have. But because he would not play the Jim Crow etiquette deference to the Southern man game, he got the kneecap chop. That's what he got.
Mm-hmm.
And so when people say they don't see how it was racism, you don't see how taking somebody from $70 million valuation to 5 million, 6 million is
Mm-hmm.
racism. You don't see how
Mm-hmm.
that big of an economic gap for his life is racism. I
You see,
don't.
they don't understand that racism also involves keeping black people at a certain pay scale,
Mm-hmm.
economically struggling.
Mm-hmm.
But see, they think racism is just not liking somebody. I have people tell me that black people, well, that black person there, they're racist. No, they're not. They might be prejudiced, but they're not racist. The original definition of racism is anti-Negro. We know who Negroes are. They black people. What does anti mean? Against. So that means the system works against us. It's a system that works against us. We don't benefit from that. So
Here's
no,
a,
we can be prejudiced, prejudiced but not racist.
here's another piece. Someone said they were laughing at this. They were like, "Oh, Dion was his agent, and he should have had representation come in there because you know because he was his father. They're not going to give it to him straight. They're not going to tell him everything straight. But if he had an agent would have been a better middleman to speak to the owners and really tell him what he needed to get together." I said, yeah, and that agent would have gotten a cut of the monies that would have gone into hands that were not the family hands. Hmm. Hmm.
Bottom line, there's no two ways about it. Talent, yeah, he's talented. He was one of the top. Matter of fact, he was the top rated. Went from being the top rated quarterback all the way down to the fifth round.
Hmm.
See, I'm like you. It's very rare that I'm gonna agree with anything Stephen A. Smith says. But when he's on point, and I admit it, I will admit it. I even posted his video. I say I don't agree with Stephen A. Smith on so many levels.
Hmm.
But when he's on point, I'm right there with him. I say, and he's on point with this.
Hmm.
See, so he spoke for real. He spoke what was real.
And now people are coming out. More and more people are coming out in their commentary, obviously after he's gotten drafted, to say, yes, there was some collusion going on. Yes, there was some conversation where people were told by their owners to take him completely off the board. So I said, even if
Hmm.
this was not all out collusion with all 32 teams, there were enough teams that did it together that it could be seen as collusion, and that he could have
Hmm.
a actual lawsuit case against them with
Hmm.
the NFL for knocking him
Hmm.
so low in the
Hmm.
draft picks.
Well, see, they don't learn. See, that's one thing about white supremacists. They don't learn. You would have think they would have learned from Kaepernick, but they don't learn. They do not. They're too busy looking at the color of your skin and you looking them in their eye, speaking the truth. They can't deal with that, so they have to cut you down. Now, you said something about his speed.
Mhm.
How many white quarterbacks are faster than him? Let's go there. Let's go right straight there. How many?
I don't know. I see. I didn't dig that far. I didn't.
Yeah.
But
Well,
what I
ain't
will,
none.
but but
Let
what
me
I
help you
will,
out there. There ain't none.
thank
Okay.
you, thank you. But what I will say is, like both of the players told me, they said it's one thing to do exhibition at the combine, right? And do really well
Mm-hmm.
in the combine under that sort of pressure. But the fact of the matter is, somebody can be fast and somebody can have a rocket throw. But if your
Mm-hmm.
accuracy is not 80% or
That
70%, what does it matter if how fast you can throw if you're not
get,
accurate? And I said,
listen.
well, is the
I'm
boy accurate? And they said, if he
yes.
was, if he was this accurate with a bad defense,
Mm-hmm. The bad line, offensive line.
yeah, they were saying he's had terrible offensive lines this whole time.
Mm-hmm.
If he's that accurate with a bad offensive line, he's gonna be a bad mamma jamma with people actually protecting him.
He gonna put people to shame. Now you said that. Now let's go to this other black Hawaiian quarterback, Tua, playing for the Dolphins.
Okay, I've heard of him. Hmm.
Yeah, they started a whole bunch of. And see, this is what media does. See, media can make you, or they can attempt to break you. See,
Hmm.
and they can't. They've been coming after him for decades. Oh well, he can't throw. He can't. Stephen A. Smith was one to say he only throwing 2 or 3 yards, and the receiver taking from there. Meanwhile, in the background was a video of him throwing 40 yards in the air. Okay. Oh, he can't stay healthy. Stay healthy a whole season. Oh, he can't do this. He can't do that. And I'm like, look at his offensive line. It's trash. Even this year after the Super Bowl, they're still talking about, well, he can't do that. I'm like, he doesn't have an offensive line for what he's doing with his accuracy and as quick as he reads and as quick as he throws, which are intangibles that they're
Mhm.
talking about.
Mhm.
Give him an offensive line and see what he does. Now,
And that was
we
the
went
other
from
that
there.
was the other that was the other thing that both of these players said to me. Now, neither one of them knew each other.
Hmm.
Um, but they both said, "How is it that you have the quarter he's throwing to the wide receiver? So how do you uplift and how do you praise his wide receiver while trying to trash him? It doesn't make sense."
Hmm.
They said, "How are you going to say he's
But
not good, but he's the one throwing to the wide receiver?" Hello, can you see me? Can you hear me?
okay, okay, yeah, yeah.
They were saying that doesn't
Okay,
make sense to
now here's.
put Hunter at 2, right? Second pick,
Hmm.
and then drop him to 144. That doesn't make sense.
Not at all. So that made it obvious about what was going on. That made it so obvious. But here it is. All the and see people still trashing Tua, but yet he's been a top five quarterback ever since McDaniels has been there, the head coach. Ever since he's been there. Now I even went as far as to tell one guy, I say, so you're saying that Mahomes is trash? Well, no, no, no. I say, well, he didn't win the Super Bowl. I say, why? It's not because he's not good. It's because that offensive line played like trash. A four-man defensive line kept pressure on him the whole game. That's unheard of. The offensive line didn't do its job. So
Mhm,
Mahomes couldn't do his.
mhm,
That people don't get it. That offensive line determines how well a play develops. I've been telling people that for years. Oh, you're crazy. The Super Bowl proved that. The
mhm,
Super Bowl proved that. That offensive line is you can take a mediocre quarterback and mediocre running backs and take a top tier offensive line, the number one offensive line in blocking, run blocking and quarterback protecting, and they'll play like superstars. They'll play that because that offensive line determines a whole lot, and people don't get that. So when your offensive line is not playing up to par, which Miami's has not been for some years, and they never addressed it.
mhm.
And Buffalo, their offensive line wasn't the greatest. He made plays.
Now I
He
did.
made plays.
Now I didn't get into this into our first conversation, but I did ask both of them about what does it mean for 5 quarterbacks to be on one team? Like, what is going to happen there? And they talked about how, he might wind up being a second string, a backup quarterback, and that this may actually work out well for him because
Mm-hmm.
he will be under very experienced quarterbacks. He'll be
Mm-hmm.
able to clean up his game, and
Mm-hmm.
there's a possibility that they could roll him out as a starting quarterback mid-season.
Mm-hmm.
Both of them said this without either
Mm-hmm.
one of them
I
knowing each
agree.
other.
I agree. I agree. And that would be a good position for him. Because I'm gonna tell you this. I don't think they got anybody better than him or as raw as him. I
Mhm,
honestly don't. And I agree. An experienced starting quarterback sit under him for a year,
mhm,
polish up,
mhm,
because most quarterbacks are willing to train a younger quarterback, especially when that older quarterback know that they're basically on their way out.
mhm,
They know they can't take much pounding anymore. They're
mhm,
willing to train, and it's going to help the team. So yeah, he get that tutelage
mhm,
next season
mhm,
with a good offensive line. He's going to be a beast.
mhm.
And I tell people this: being drafted at 144 doesn't diminish his ability.
Right.
It diminishes his pay,
Yeah.
but not his ability. And
Mhm,
they added fuel to the fire. They didn't
mhm.
discourage him.
Right.
They didn't discourage him. They made him more determined because now he has to prove. See,
Mhm,
you don't give us fuel when you're
mhm.
compelled.
Uh-oh. Are you still there? Uh-oh. Hopefully he'll come back. That was a really good. That was some really good insight. Um, I hope that I hope that he will be able to continue. I hope that he will be able to move forward. You there with us, Pastor? I can hear you. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah, but you don't give us that. You don't give us when we're already on fire. You don't give us fuel because that's just going to make us that much better. They haven't learned that after all these years.
Clearly not.
I saw, I saw Angel Reese use that.
Mm-hmm.
Drafted at number 7, and she was leading in Rookie of the Year until she got injured. But and they're still talking negative about her.
Mm-hmm.
Well, y'all don't get it. She's been working and working with Lisa Leslie, one of the best post players ever in the WNBA, with her footwork and jab step and all that stuff. This girl is going to be a beast this year. And they're still going to put her down. And it's going to make her play even that much better.
Whew. Man, oh man. Final thoughts.
Oh
Oh, I
boy.
meant to ask you, what did you think about my assessment about women watching?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. 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 This was it. Number one, women love Deion Sanders.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just put that out there. They're going to follow him if they don't follow nobody else. If he's involved in it, they're going to watch it.
Mm-hmm.
This is why Buffalo, this is why Colorado got so many fans so quick.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, they pull guys too, but mainly women.
Mm-hmm.
See, and then Miss Peggy, the old lady that he partnered up with there, that
Mm-hmm.
just pulled them in anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's involving him or his sons, they're going to tune in.
Mm-hmm.
And now I agree with you. Auntie and grandma now, they become those boys' aunties and grandmas, and
Mm-hmm.
you done messed up. Because as you said, they're next to Jesus Christ Himself.
Mm-hmm.
And y'all done messed up.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all done messed up. Seriously, y'all
Mm-hmm.
gonna feel it. They gonna feel it.
Because what they don't understand is that boy's relationship with his mother,
Mm-hmm.
going into these schools, going into the NFL, all of
Mm-hmm.
that is gonna be he gonna be looking to mom a lot of time.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, dad, but a lot of times mom to
Mm-hmm.
say, is this good? Is this a good choice? And mama is gonna remember the teams
Mm-hmm.
that acted like they couldn't take Deion Sanders' son. And the
Mm-hmm.
mama gonna say, where you not gonna go? Let me tell you where you're not gonna go.
Yep. Listen, listen,
They don't
and her
understand, I'm telling
decision,
you. They don't
her
understand
this
what they just did.
her decision is gonna outrule any decision that Dion wanna make. That's what they don't get. See, that's mama. Dion is daddy. Yeah, Dion know football. Dion has already said, my son ain't going here, my son ain't going there. He already said that. But now mama finna take over. Because she see the way y'all did her baby. Mama finna
Mm-hmm.
take over now. And
Mm-hmm.
as you said, mama gonna remember.
Mm-hmm.
See, mama gonna remember. And she gonna say, oh no, See, and what I said was well, maybe they should test Canada, see what type of offers they get in Canada, which is what Warren Moon had to do. And I said they wouldn't allow black quarterbacks. And somebody thought they corrected me. I know I say they didn't like black quarterbacks in NFL because they were not intelligent. Somebody thought they corrected me with Harrison Gillum, which both I saw play. I said that wasn't the NFL. That was the owner and the coaches that did that.
Mm-hmm.
The NFL hadn't opened up until Warren Moon went to Canada, won championships. No, now we want to get black quarterbacks because they'll skip out of here. We can use that
Mm-hmm.
talent in the NFL. They'll skip out of here and go to Canada and play and blow up in Canada.
Mm-hmm.
See, then they can come back here and demand what they want. We don't want to do that, so we're gonna curtail that now.
Mm-hmm.
See, Warren Moon came back went to Minnesota and blew up there. So they don't understand. Warren Moon wouldn't play that game because they wanted to turn black quarterbacks into receivers and defensive backs.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't want you to play quarterback. See, the White Boys Club, it still exists.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Still exists.
Yep, you're right. 276 players were drafted. They said, like I said, the NFL is on its way to making um, close to 25 billion estimated for the year, which means that each team is going to get roughly $416 million. So when you talk about the salary and the estimate that Deion Sanders' son Shadur is getting, it's around about 1% of the budget of any NFL team because of where he got picked. 1%.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that dropped him, think about it, 76 million to about 5 million. That is an economic embargo.
Mm-hmm.
And it may not seem like,
71 million dollars
yeah,
he
76,
lost.
76. Well, yeah,
76, yeah,
71 million lost.
76 million.
But
Yeah.
that may not seem, you may not see it because what you might be making.
Mm-hmm.
But on that scale, to go from a potential to bring in 76 million over a 4 or 5 year contract to just $5 million, that's an economic lynching, people. That's an economic
Mm-hmm.
lynching, no matter how you look at it. Final thoughts.
Wake up. That's all I want to say. Because some of us got pulled into this and we got fooled because I had a conversation with the guy. Well, he said, okay, go back and look at the videos of what Eli Manning said. Yeah,
Mhm.
that was different. I said, you're right, because Eli was white. His dad was white. Dion is black. And Shadur is black. I said, to me, that's the only difference. And the response was different.
Mhm.
So that's all I need to see. Now, had he dropped to about 5, I would say, okay, he dropped completely out of the first round, then the second round, third, fourth, and then he is in the fifth. Come on. You can't make that make sense. You can't.
And they're
Other
trying to make it make sense too.
No, you can't make that make sense other than the fact that you were punishing him.
Hmm.
And why were you punishing him? When you can give criminal white quarterbacks high picks, pick number one and stuff like that. Criminal charges against them. One drugged out quarterback, you make him number one pick. He's white, but the guy with all the character that you want from a quarterback, no trouble, pedigree, straight and narrow, confident, not cocky,
Hmm.
confident, which is one thing they're not going to shake. You're not going to shake his confidence. One thing about one of us, when we know what we can do and we're comfortable in what we can do, you're not going to move us. You're not going to bother us. We're going to go out there and we're going to show you. See, and that's what they got. That's what they got on their hands now. They got a beast on their hands now,
Hmm.
and they don't understand that. They got a beast on their hands. Cause you don't mess with two beasts anyway. Cause you got mama. You don't mess with mama, little boy. They got a real tight relationship, and mama got power because she the one that made a decision for their daughter to go play for another college.
Hmm.
And Deonce just had to shut up and go along with it. So he didn't want it, but once he started seeing what was happening when she got there, he was all on
Hmm.
board.
Hmm.
See, so you better
What
understand, mama got power.
one young lady said, Tia Allen says, how you gonna have him starring in all of the draft commercials and he not go in the first round?
Mm-hmm.
Because again, they want to make money while at the same time trying to convince other people that you're not worth it.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? They gained the capital from him, but didn't want to put the capital into him.
Now you don't open up something else, because see, we can go back to the WNBA. Who else did they do that? Well, they didn't do that with them, but they made capital off their name and gave them the biggest contract in the WNBA. That girl, Cece, that they hyped up, the greatest player in the WNBA. She wasn't even drafted yet, so people fell for that instead of saying, "Whoa, wait a minute, let's see how she plays." the turnover queen. Oh, well, she turns over because she's a point guard and has the ball more than anybody else. Excuse you,
Yeah. Another person, CJ So Fine One, says, never underestimate how much even black folks hate confident black folks. I said, yeah, I saw some of that too. I clocked it. I sure did. I clocked it and I was like, oh, you can't be nowhere around me when something good happened because you're going to think that my confidence in who I am and who I know myself to be and know my worth is a problem.
mm-hmm,
Don't we tell people to know their worth? And then when he
mm-hmm,
tell you what his worth is, now y'all upset.
mm-hmm,
Somebody else, Don Ciave said, why do y'all want black people to be humbled so badly? This person, Vince 94444 responds, because listen, this is the truth that came out. I went and looked at his page. I said, okay, this is somebody hiding their identity because they don't want nobody to know who they are, but they really telling what they really feel.
mm-hmm,
He said, because you guys are getting way too comfortable being loud, obnoxious, racist piece of its, and y'all need to be back in chains if you ask me. The wrong generation got enslaved. That right
mm-hmm,
there
mm-hmm,
tells you all you need to know.
mm-hmm,
They want you back in chains. They want to be have another generation to enslave. These
mm-hmm,
people are off they racking rockers
mm-hmm. Cause it ain't gonna happen. It ain't gonna.
because it ain't
As
gonna
somebody say,
happen.
as somebody say, we'll burn this whole place down first. We built it.
Ah, I tell you. Well, Pastor, thank you for your time. Thank you
You're
for
welcome.
chopping it up with me today. I have to go back and share these videos with my the persons that gave me some insight and information. I felt really good today. I felt like I knew what I was talking about coming into this conversation. But like I said, um, I have never really been a football person. Like I've never really been into it, even though I've had a family member a part of it, and I have a couple of distant relatives that play for the Dolphins and one plays for the Falcons. Um, but this really did start to concern me because I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
what are y'all doing? And I know I'm not the only one that felt that way. What are y'all actually doing? What are y'all doing to these men? What are y'all trying to do to their confidence? How are you all actually treating them? And we know what we only want to get into the whole CTE conversation, but how are y'all actually treating them
Mm-hmm.
as you make these billions and millions off of them per year?
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like you're doing them a favor. You really are making the bank off of them. You're last year you made $23 billion.
Mm-hmm.
Billion with a B, not million. $23 billion off of the franchise. And they split
Listen.
that between the owners.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so when people say, why isn't there a black billionaire that's been invited into the club? They don't want to split that with no black people.
Mm-mm.
$416 million per team estimated for this year. They don't want to split that. And so I'm very happy that things like the NIL exist so that
Mm-hmm.
he will continue to get deals, right? They already know he's bankable. He was doing commercials during the draft. As soon as the draft ended, he had another commercial that came out with him and Delta Airlines. So they know he's bankable. Don't sit
Mm-hmm.
up here and act like this boy is not who he is. Don't do that. Because now the black community is going to be side eyeing y'all all NFL preseason, season, in the bowls and everything. We're just going to be, all of us is going to be looking at y'all like,
Listen.
really?
What? what they don't want is for us to stand up again and boycott NFL games like they did when the way they treated Cap.
Some people are still boycotting. I mean,
Yeah.
I haven't, like I said, I haven't watched any games. I watched the Super Bowl halftime this year. That's probably the first thing I've watched since what happened to Kaepernick. Now I know more people will probably tune in to the Cleveland Browns, right? Because they know he's over there. But there are people still boycotting. They're probably still feeling that.
Hmm.
And so to act
Well,
like it's not important to bring someone like Shador to a team and to downplay it, it just was not a wise move. It wasn't wise. But sometimes pseudo supremacy is not wise to begin with.
it's, it's never wise.
Yeah. Thank you for your time and attention. This has been another episode of Daring Dialogues. This is our talk back segment. And I hope that we've said something today, giving you some insight. Feel free to leave us a comment once this video processes. It'll probably post tomorrow, and you'll be able to add commentary onto the video. Thank you again. Remember, light is the most daring opposition to darkness. So continue to go out and be what?
Light.
Light. Tomorrow, we'll be having another intense conversation. We'll be talking about the movie Sinners. It's going to be a doozy. All right. So see you all then. Take care, be well, and be light.